Oh boy. Good morning, Uncle Lou here. I tell you, these Gumps, the trolls, the Gump trolls especially, it's like somebody flipped a light on these cockroaches and they all came running out in the comments section today about this Georgia-Alabama game. You know, talking about how good Alabama was and Alabama did this and Alabama did that. That's fine. I mean, that's great. And keep in mind that no matter what happens to you this Saturday, Gumps, nothing can take those memories away from you. But reality is about to set in as far as this season is concerned. I have been saying it for months. The days of Alabama getting off the bus and that's all they have to do, those days are over. People, you can't lose to Ole Miss 2 years in a row and expect teams to just be scared of you. Your heyday has passed you by, and you're not winning in Athens this weekend. It's that simple. It's not happening. You're an underdog in this game in Vegas for a reason. This is the first time Alabama has not been favored in a game since 2009, and it's no surprise to Uncle Lou. I look around at Bama's team. Now, we'll break it down. We'll talk about the offense first, which won't take long. You have nothing on offense. Nothing. Your best option on offense is Derrick Henry. All right, let's take a look at Derrick Henry. For the last 2 years, Derrick Henry's been nothing but a fourth quarter bowling ball. That's it. He's the guy you put in the fourth quarter when you're ahead and the other team is wore out, and he just runs into people for a living. That's all he does. He's not a legitimate starting running back in the SEC, and that's my honest opinion. He rarely even gets to 100 yards in a game. Rarely. He didn't even have 100 against Louisiana Monroe. That's your entire offense. That's it. That's all you have. Your quarterback situation is one of the most embarrassing in the SEC. It's just a joke. You transfer Jacob Coker in from Florida State to take over. He's so terrible, you had to promote a running back. You had to move a running back to quarterback last year. That's how bad your quarterback situation was last year with Jake Coker. And the only reason Blake Sims was able to get anything done at all is because he was throwing jump balls to Amari Cooper. Well, that ship has sailed. Amari Cooper's gone in Oakland, plays for Oakland Raiders, so he's never to be heard from again. He's going to suffer the same fate that Rolando McClain suffered. But anyway, back to Alabama. Your quarterback situation is disturbing, to say the least. How many number one recruiting classes have you had in a row? And for 2 years now, you don't have a starting SEC caliber quarterback? You ought to be embarrassed and ashamed of yourselves. Ridiculous. You have no wide receivers of any note. You don't have any NFL wide receivers on your team. Derrick Henry, let's be real about Derrick Henry. The best thing about Derrick Henry is that he's from the state of Georgia. Well, how come he's not playing for the University of Georgia? Why is he at Alabama? Simple. Playing time. He wanted to play. Had he come to UGA, that wouldn't have happened. He'd be buried so deep on the depth chart at UGA, he'd never see the field. He'd never see the light of day. He'd be a practice teamer at UGA. He doesn't even have any business being on the same field as Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, Keith Marshall. I mean, these guys are light years ahead of what Derrick Henry will ever be. Period. What do you have? Lane Kiffin? We're scared of Lane Kiffin? What is this guy? The best thing on Lane Kiffin's resume is that he's Monte Kiffin's son. That's the best thing. He was a loser in Oakland. He was a loser at Tennessee. He was a loser at Southern Cal. And he's made Alabama into a loser. Period. He's terrible. He's supposed to be a quarterback guru. We just got done talking about that. Your quarterback situation is a disgrace. Now, you people want to send tweets and comments to me that you're getting some scrub named Bo Scarborough back from suspension this week. Some other running back you're supposed to have to help out Derrick Henry. That's great. Here's some free advice for you Gumps, though. Maybe Lane Kiffin can teach Bo Scarborough how to throw the ball, and you can try the running back at quarterback thing again like you did with Blake Sims. Because what you're doing this year is not working. You struggled to score 34 points against Louisiana Monroe. Embarrassing. UGA put up 52 on Louisiana Monroe, and the game was called at the end of the third quarter due to weather. So we scored 52 points on those chumps in 3 quarters. You struggled to score 34. Let's talk about the Ole Miss game. Since you think your defense is all that and so good. It's been known, widely known, for all Nick Saban's genius, for as great as a defensive mind as he is, and Kirby Smart, they cannot stop the pass. They can't do it. They haven't been able to do it for 2 years. They go up against Ole Miss. They get shredded all night long. Chad Kelly has pinballed around from team to team to team in college, can't fit in anywhere, gets to Ole Miss and lights up Alabama. They're still scoring points on you. You made Chad Kelly look like a Heisman candidate. And honestly, Chad Kelly and Ole Miss threw for more yards against Bama than they did against Vanderbilt. That's pathetic. That's sad. What are you doing? Ole Miss scored twice as many points against Bama as they did against Vandy. Twice as many. How does that happen? They scored 42 points against Bama. They scored 20-something against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt has a better defense than Alabama. Period. And you can write that down, or you can, if any of you Gumps are watching, you can get somebody to write it down for you. Look, I'm not impressed with anything I've seen from Alabama this year. Nothing. Go load up the box, try to stop Nick Chubb if you want to. I'm sure that's your game plan. Breaking news, that's been every team's game plan against Georgia for the last 2 years. Hasn't worked. Nick Chubb, 12 games straight with 100 yards. Derrick Henry struggles to get 100 yard every 3 or 4 weeks. Nick Chubb, 12 straight 100-yard games. It's going to be 13 come Saturday. Grayson Lambert has completed 33 of his last 35 passes. Let that sink in. I don't care who it was against. Alabama's quarterbacks can't complete 33 out of 35 passes in pregame warm-ups just throwing back and forth with each other. 33 out of 35. Grayson Lambert has 1 incompletion in each of the last 2 games. 1. It's going to be a long day for Alabama. A long, long day. The best thing you have is Nick Saban. And we're not scared of Nick Saban. So, we're 4 days away. The Gumps are going down. Good morning. Go Dogs.